Hi everyone, welcome to week 3. This week we're going to be talking about chronic diseases. So things like diabetes, asthma, there's a lot of them that are explained in the chapter that we can talk about. It's important for us to educate ourselves about chronic diseases and to know both what we need to do to support children and their health, but also families and the other children in the class. When my daughter was in school, she had a classmate that had epilepsy, and he had seizures, often grand mal seizures, and she witnessed a lot of them. And she didn't understand that you can't catch epilepsy, and you can't. That it very likely scared her, and those seizures scared her, and I don't think the teachers probably did a good job explaining that to her, so it was super scary for her. So we have to help support all the children, both the child with the chronic condition and also the children in the class, in better understanding what the child is experiencing. So if you go into your weekly folder, I'm sorry, I was just eating oatmeal, so I'm kind of making sure I don't have any in my teeth. So chronic conditions, in a nutshell, you're going to read chapter 4. You're going to do the chronic disease quiz, which is really just an assignment. It's not graded like a quiz. You're going to read information about chronic diseases and do research, and watch the videos in the folder. And then you're going to complete 2 discussion boards. So if you go into week 3, you're going to see the assignments, and then you're going to see information. So what I'd like you to do is watch the epilepsy. It's really interesting to watch epilepsy seizures, just because there's many times, like a absentee seizure, you might not recognize that it's even a seizure when you see a child who's staring at something, and it could possibly be a seizure. Important to catch those early. If you catch seizures early, you have, and they can diagnose a condition, you can minimize how much damage is done to the child. Managing seizures in a childcare setting. EpiPen, so children with their increasingly severe allergies, a lot of times will need EpiPens, so you need to learn about those. Recognizing an asthma attack in children, hearing what that sounds like. Facts. So there's just a bunch of different information videos and readings that I'd like you to do. Then you can go into your chapter 3 folder for assignments. You're going to read chapter 4 in the textbook, and it talks about a bunch of different chronic conditions. You're going to do the chronic disease quiz. Then you're going to do your discussion board. I'm going to move this down here for you because chronologically this one comes first. All children will likely have different health problems, and it talks about them. For this week's post, choose one of the chronic medical conditions from above to research. You're going to name what it is yours is. So as soon as you decide, you're going to want to get it up there because only 2 people can do each of the conditions. You're going to do your initial post, and then you're going to follow up on, here's the assignment about your initial post, right here, and then in your responses to 2 or more classmates. Okay. Also, here is the second discussion board, and you have to access this from the discussion board tab to the left. So if you go over to discussions, you will see, I just didn't link this one the same way. So if you go over here, you'll see the 3B. You're going to, so children's books, excellent children's books. So those are books you can read to children, not books about the disease or the condition. I'd like you to decide on a condition again, and then I'd like you to find 5 children's books that relate, that you could read to children about the chronic condition. And then I'd like you to list what, first of all, you're going to put at the top of the page what the condition is again, and then you're going to share 5 titles of books, including both the name of the book and the author. They have to be for children ages birth, which obviously there's not going to be many for children who are less than a year old, but you have to choose somewhere in the age of birth through 8 years old. And then if you can find a brief description about the book, if you could include that, that would be great. My suggestion is for you as a future classroom teacher or family child care educator, making a list of this to have as a resource for yourself in your future, so that if you did have a child that has epilepsy, you could quickly look that up and find children's books. You do not need to respond to classmates on this post, because really it's just information sharing. Okay? I think that is everything for this week. Next week, we're going to be covering the ever popular topic of communicable diseases, because I'm sure a lot of you are running into that this time of year. I'll see you next week.